Welcome to Sin City, an adult playground where everyone can join in, as long as you're 21. Youth is the trend. Today, a chance to witness history. One of two players could become the youngest bracelet winner ever.
It's become pretty clear that the young players have a real great mind for the game.
This is my first time entering, first tournament I ever played in. It's surreal, it's unbelievable.
But can the newcomers win the bracelet and the respect of their elders?
There's not really anyone that I would be afraid of. So today I think I can win.
We're checking IDs at the final table of the World Series of Poker. Welcome to the World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. The Rio is the setting, and action already underway in our $1,500 limit hold'em event. We began with another huge field with over 1,000 players, and as the 10th place finisher heads for the door, we are now down to our final 9. It's an eclectic group of international poker players. Hello everyone, alongside Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran, and it's just not fair, Norman. We stand here getting older. The poker players keep getting younger. At our final table tonight, we have not one, but 2 players with a chance to become the youngest bracelet winner ever in World Series of Poker history.
Babyface number 1 is Adam Hersch. He's just 22 years old. Babyface number 2 is Eric Froehlich. He's barely 21. Lon, when I was their age, I couldn't even shuffle a deck of cards. These boys can play.
There is the babyface at the table. Eric Froehlich turned 21 a few months ago, qualified for the World Series just a couple of days after his birthday.
Adam Hersch, in his first World Series of Poker event, is studying hotel management at UNLV.
Youth is being served on our leaderboard. The 2 fresh faces here, Hersch and Froehlich, are 1 and 3 on the chip count, but don't rule anybody out. Still some wily veterans that can make a quick move.
How come when I was young, Lon, youth wasn't served? There's Peter Costa, thankfully 49 years old, maybe the best limit hold'em player in the world.
And on the Milwaukee's Best Light pocket cam, Costa holding aces. Nice start. And he'll raise it to 16,000.
In limit poker, you're restricted on how much you can bet. Right now, before and after the flop, you can bet or raise 8,000. After the turn and river, you can bet or raise 16,000.
You're looking at Wing Wong, born in China, lives in California. He has made 6 final tables at the World Series.
And the limits will go up as the day wears on.
Eric Froehlich will get rid of his cards over to Brian Mogilevsky from New York. Hole cards 1-3, pocket 3s. Mogilevsky will make the call. Next in line is Todd Witteles from Las Vegas, a very prolific online player. Says he's played over 1 million hands online with the screen name of Dan Druff.
Dan Druff?
Dan Druff has Queen Jack offsuit.
Last time I was in the spot, I made the nuts. You want me to call?
No, I don't know. We need to call if you lose. I want you to muck if you're going to beat me, obviously.
Peter Costa says, throw the cards away if you can beat me. But Costa's in good shape right now with aces. As we go to the flop, 3 players. And the flop is deuce, 10, ace, another ace for Costa.
Set of aces for Peter Costa. In command of the hand.
I don't have the nuts yet, I check.
Witteles checks to Costa, who will bet 8,000. Mogilevsky is run off of the hand.
All right, 1 call.
Witteles picked up a gut shot straight draw, and he'll make a loose call right there.
So Witteles and Costa to the turn card, and what a string of cards for Todd Witteles. He's got the straight.
Check.
He had his best possible card, and now he's going to try to trap Peter Costa.
Peter Costa's going to play with his 3 aces. He bet 16,000.
Oh, sure, he's going to bet 16,000. No reason to put his opponent on this ace-high straight.
I told you to watch out.
Raise. I fear that you have got the Jack Queen. Nice hand.
Costa now fears he's up against the Queen Jack, but he's got to make that automatic, if reluctant, call here in a limit game.
3 this time. 3.
1 card to come.
3 of diamonds.
It's a Jack of clubs. Witteles earns the check mark. He can only lose the hand if he folds, and he bets.
Costa needed the board to pair to overtake the straight.
Nearly checked it on the turn as well.
He knew if he checked on the turn, he would have saved 32,000.
If you fold, you'll always wonder what I had.
I've got better things to wonder about.
If this was no limit, Witteles might have gone all in and Costas would muck his 3 aces. But this is just one more bet for him.
I should follow my instincts and check.
The problem for Peter right now is he doesn't have a big stack, so every bet counts. This is another 16,000 for him.
I believe you as well. I know you're an honest guy.
Costa calls. He couldn't get away from the 3 aces.
He sees the bad news. He was up against the straight. Costa loses the hand. He's hurting on chips right now. Todd Witteles just got a bit healthier.
I'm an online player. We don't lie.
Lon, you know what the difference is between limit and no limit?
No, you tell me.
In limit, there's a limit to what you can bet. In no limit, there's no limit. Right now, the limits are 10 and 20,000. You can bet or raise 10,000 before and after the flap. You can bet or raise 20,000 after the turn in river.
$361,000 plus the bracelet to today's winner. And that is the only man who has already got a bracelet. Christian Van Hees won this very event back in 1995.
He's the prototypical grinder in cash games, has started playing tournaments, he says, because there's so much dead money here.
You're going to like this guy, Brian Mogilevsky. You know why, Norm?
You tell me.
He learned to play poker in a bowling alley.
Oh, wow. I could marry the guy.
Mogilevsky with a couple of kings, and he'll bet 20,000.
Good time for him to get the kings. He's getting low stacked.
Over to Witteles. Ace, queen of diamonds. Witteles reaching for chips.
10 minutes. Re-raise. 3 bets, 30,000.
And he announces a re-raise. It's now to 30,000 chips.
In each betting round, there can be 1 bet and up to 4 raises. That was the second raise.
There's Jason Steinhorn, 33 years old, from San Jose, California, an engineering manager at eBay. Pocket tens. He thinks, he looks.
He bets. He calls the raise.
Now to Christian Van Hees. Van Hees checks his whole cards. Wow, a lot of good cards going around. Ace, king of clubs.
Everybody with a hand.
Wonder what he's going to do.
Mogilevsky throws in his remaining chips all in.
10 even. I don't want this much action.
Just because he's all in doesn't mean I have a bad hand.
No,
I'm sympathetic with Mogilevsky.
one time, baby.
With all these hands, someone's bound to hit something.
5 deuce, 8 all low cards. Nobody pairs up.
Now we will have a side pot among the other 3 players, and Steinhorn has bet.
10,000 chips with pocket tens.
Mogilevsky is all in and still ahead in the hand with his kings.
After Steinhorn's bet, Van Hees called. Action now on Todd Witteles.
All right, take one off.
And Witteles will make the call with his ace, queen of diamonds.
Yeah, if he's taking one off there, I want to play against this guy every day.
Turn card is a 10. Steinhorn now with a set of 10s and the lead.
Witteles has picked up a flush draw.
Steinhorn bets 20,000.
Up to Van Hees. He would be drawing dead if he called, as you can see by the percentage next to his name.
But he's going to call. Mogilevsky is already all in. He never wanted all this action.
No, and he doesn't know it, but he would need the last king in the deck to stay alive now. And Witteles on the flush draw is going to see the river card as well.
It's Steinhorn in the lead. Mogilevsky all in. And the river card, 7 of hearts. Steinhorn earns the check mark. He's got the hand 1 if he doesn't fold, and he bets.
Van Hees, who had no draw, I guess was trying to pair his ace or kings, got nothing. He gets out of the way.
Up to Witteles.
Well, I'm going to see it anyway, so.
And Witteles folds it.
Oh my God.
Steinhorn shows his 10s. Mogilevsky is done. He'll take 9th place on almost $29,000.
I'm going to go buy him a drink in a bowling alley and see what develops.
And for Jason Steinhorn, with those 3 10s, he won the main pot, he won the side pot. He's going to need a few minutes to stack all those chips.
The 2005 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste. Miller Brewing Company, and in part by New Degree for men who take risks. It won't let you down. And Harris Entertainment, home of the world's richest poker tournament. The World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light.
One of the great things about the World Series is its variety. We have this limit event in addition to pot limit and no limit, and games like Stud, Omaha, and your favorite, Norman, I know, Omaha High-Low. You're looking at Wing Wong. Short stack at the table. Wing Wong has Jack 9 offsuit in the hole. And the short stack pushes that short stack into the middle. He's all in, 18,000 chips.
Wong used to work as an engineer, left it in 1994 to become a poker player full-time.
Steinhorn, Van Hees, and Witteles fold. Adam Hersch now. He looks in pain.
Well, he's in the big blind. He's already in for 10,000.
8 more to win all that. I don't think I can fold, guys.
Yeah, these young guys know the
I
math.
can fold 8 more.
It's simple math, just 8,000 more, any 2 cards he's going to call.
10-3 of clubs does make the call. Hersch and Wong to the flop, with Wong's tournament life at stake right now, but he's got the advantage. And 3, 10-4, no longer advantage Wong, advantage Hersch with 2 pair.
That flop, just about worst case scenario for Wing Wong. He got no piece of it.
But he gets a piece of the turn and pairs his 9.
Drama unfolding.
The percentage next to a player's name is a probability they'll have the best cards at the end of the hand.
Good luck, buddy.
So Wong with a flickering hope. He needs a jack or a 9 on the river to stay alive here.
1 card to come, and the river card is an ace of clubs. It's not going to do it for Wing Wong. He will be eliminated in 8th place and take home over $43,000. Known as an aggressive player, but he really never had the chips or the cards to be that type of player today. Adam Hersch does take down a veteran player, and he is now another step closer to becoming the youngest champion ever at the World Series.
My grandma taught me everything about poker. You know, we'd have this huge jar of pennies, and she'd, take half and I'd take half, and we'd just play. Dad, you're the first one because you were the raiser.
I go 3.
It was a family thing. I mean, my grandmother plus my brother and sister. It was definitely a fun time. What do you have?
Don't.
She taught me, what beats what, how to bet, the structure of the game, and how it was more about having fun and not so serious. What do you think I should do with these? My grandmother passed away last summer, and I think I would have made her proud.
What was that? Poker face.
Sister and I like to jaw back and forth at each other, and I said, Lindsay, I'm 22 now, I'm gonna win a World Series bracelet by the time I'm 30 years old. And she started laughing, what, are you kidding me? There's no way. So she bet me $1,000, and I definitely want to prove her wrong. I definitely think I'm going to. Thank you very much.
It's amazing how many players first started playing cards with their grandmother. If there's a gambling problem out there, Lon, I'm blaming the grandmothers of America.
Oh, and Adam's family represented by his mom in the cheering section today at the final table. We continue with 7 players left. And the table folding around to Todd Witteles, King Jack of diamonds. And he spikes a stack of 20,000. Peter Costa would never spike a stack of chips, even holding pocket 8s. Well, he came close, though. He does raise it to 30,000.
Oh, boy.
Next to act is Devin Armstrong, a Canadian television cameraman and a lucky beaver.
He's part of Team Canuck Poker, sort of a kinder, gentler crew in Canada, and their motto is "Fear the Beaver, baby." And the beaver told him to fold.
How much more you got?
Everybody fold.
4,000. All right, let's go. I'll put you all in.
Todd Witteles now re-raising to put Peter Costa all in.
You're ahead of me right now.
Costa is ahead of Todd,
Come on.
but Todd's like something stuck to the bottom of Peter Costa's shoe.
There's Todd's cheering section, including his girlfriend. Of course, Todd known as Dandruff online, and there's their mascot and symbol of dandruff, head and shoulders. So as they get ready for the flop, Costa with his pocket 8s has a slight advantage over Witteles, but Costa is all in.
Big cards or diamonds?
And now our flop. 9-6 king. Witteles pairs his king.
And Peter Costa, among the best British poker offers, in grave danger now.
Deuce, deuce.
Doesn't an 8 make it interesting?
Go A8.
You know, I was in favor of the American Revolution originally, Lon, but I don't know now.
It's a 10 of spades.
Oh.
Remember, Costa's all in.
Yeah, it should have been the 10 of clubs. Give us a bit of a draw.
He would have preferred a club to give him a club draw, but Costa can still stay alive. If on the river he hits an 8, or a 7 makes him a straight.
It's a 10 of clubs there. It does him no good.
And Witteles celebrates by taking the slip cover off the chair. Was he raised outdoors?
So Dan Druff wins the hand. Costa is gone in 7th place with almost $58,000.
Enjoy yourselves. Have fun.
Peter Costa, what a class act. Todd Witteles near the chip lead, almost head and shoulders above the rest.
The Toyota Points Leader is brought to you by Toyota. Choose any direction, as long as it's forward. Toyota, moving forward.
As you take a look at our Toyota leaderboard, you'll see several familiar names, including Chris Ferguson and Jen Harmon. And atop the list stand Alan Cunningham and Scott Fishman, who finished 1-2 in the $1,500 no-limit event. A win for one of our 2 youngsters at today's final table would guarantee them a spot on that leaderboard, but they could also bust a record that has a history as long as the World Series itself. Over 35 years, many have held a title youngest to ever win a bracelet. Johnny Moss was the youngest because he was the first, but he was also 63 years old when he won in 1970.
Winning hand for Stu Unger, and
Stu Unger was nicknamed the Kid, and at 26 years old, he became the youngest poker champion in 1980.
Hellmuth wins the championship.
Nearly a decade later, poker brat Phil Hellmuth won the main event at age 24. He still holds the record for the youngest ever to win the main event. But when it comes to youngest bracelet winners, Daniel Negreanu was a year younger than Hellmuth when he won his bracelet in 1998.
Queen again.
And last year's Toyota Player of the Year is further proof that a great start can launch a great career.
Send the park.
Speaking of which, Phil Ivey was 7 months younger than Negreanu in 2000 when he took home his first of 4 bracelets. And Gavin Griffin won his bracelet last year at 22, knocking out Phil Hellmuth in the process, on the way to becoming the youngest bracelet winner of all time so far.
There's David Williams. He had a chance last year to become the youngest winner of the main event ever. David, good friends with Eric Froehlich, who of course is trying to become the youngest bracelet winner of all time today.
E-Fro, as he's affectionately known among his posse. Action continues now with 6 players. The limit's at 10 and 20,000. Looking at Adam Hersch, 22 years old, college student. Ace 8 offsuit.
22 years old. Get a job.
He bets 20,000. E-Fro, E-folds. Over to eBay Steinhorn, who folds. Over to Todd Witteles. Yeah, King, Queen offsuit.
Speaking of jobs, I think the Secret Service is still hiring.
Actually, Witteles used to be a software developer here in Las Vegas, and he'll make the call. And so we've got 2 players going to the flop. Hersch with a slight advantage with that ace in the hole. And it comes out. Ace, king, 6. Both players pair their top card.
Yeah, good looking flop for both. Top pair for Hersch. Witteles gets a pair of kings and the nut flush draw, and he checks.
Hersch comes out with 10,000 chips. Witteles with a pair of kings and a queen kicker. Raises to 20,000.
Todd likes the check raise.
And a re-raise from Hersch, 30,000. Standard limit action. Pots do get big, but they got to go step by step.
I don't think Todd liked the re-raise. He will call Hersch's bet.
So Hersch still with the advantage to the turn. 8 of spades. Hersch now with aces up after pairing his 8.
Yeah, 3-1 advantage now for Hersch, and Witteles, who still has the flush draw, checks, and Hersch bets.
20,000.
I don't think we're going to see a check raise this time.
And Witteles indeed just calls the 20,000 to the river card.
Witteles is looking for a king or a diamond.
And the river card is a jack of spades, changes nothing except to guarantee Hersch a win if he can hang on to his cards and not fold. Check from Witteles again. Hersch checks. And the cards are flipped. Witteles sees the bad news. Hersch wins the hand with aces up. And Adam's mom seems to have recruited some more supporters for her son.
Todd a little frustrated. Hey, he should have stood up and yelled out lotto numbers before the river card.
Hersch stacking his 1,000 denomination yellow chips. The blues are worth 5,000. And a look at the prize money and that all-important bracelet that awaits tonight's champion. 6 players remaining. And the table folding around to Todd Witteles. Maybe a bit on tilt. Not going to play this hand. Over to Devin Armstrong, our Canadian TV cameraman. I've noticed his pocket camera is always in focus. It's always clean.
He's a likable fellow, Lon.
Pocket deuces, and he comes out with 20,000 chips.
You know, Lon, I was surprised to find out that Eric Froehlich dropped out of the University of Virginia, 1 class short of graduating to move to LA and play poker. To earn 1 credit at the University of Maryland, where I went, all you had to do was trip in the parking lot.
He's tripping over aces right now, and he is raising it to 30,000. Action on Devin Armstrong.
Beaver has concern on his face. Devin does not have a lot of chips left.
But he's reaching for some of them. Raising to 40,000. Are deuces worth more in Canadian poker?
Lonnie's opened up that door downstairs. You don't want to look behind.
No. Froehlich is going to waste very little time. And he raises it to 50,000 chips.
Sure, fear the beaver, but I fear the aces more.
Armstrong is committed right now. He does make the call. And you see how far he's behind the aces. Now the flop, Jack, 9, 5, 2 diamonds, but nothing else on the flop.
Yeah, Froehlich in command of this hand right here, and he will fire out with the bet of 10,000.
If possible, his aces got stronger after the flop. And a resigned look for Armstrong raises to 20.
7.
Froehlich asks how much he's got left in his stack. He's going to push enough chips in to put Armstrong all in.
I think I'm in bad shape. You got a pair?
Just aces.
27,000. Just aces.
I don't like just aces. Just tell me you have aces.
It's not looking good.
Well, Armstrong bemoaning the fact he was not catching cards. It's short stack. Pocket pair, small as possible. He had to go all in. A 10 of diamonds, another diamond, but a flush would not even save Armstrong.
No, Armstrong is going to need a deuce, and a deuce only on the river, or his day is done.
Eric Froehlich, our chip leader, trying to collect some more chips. It's a 3. It's close, but it's not going to be.
If we could see a replay of that, I could have sworn that was a deuce coming off.
Not a deuce. Eric Froehlich wins the hand. Devin Armstrong goes away in 6th place, wins over $72,000.
Indeed, a nice chunk of chips to add to Eric's stack. And meanwhile, David Williams applauding his 21-year-old friend's success.
Eric Froehlich is our chip leader at this final table, but he's got little cushion for error. 3 of the 4 remaining players nipping at his heels. Seems like non-stop poker action here on the outer tables of the Rio. And you see in the back corner of the room sits our final table where the first limit event of 2005 continues, and Christian Van Hees, you see, is the short stack. Eric Froehlich is our chip leader right now, but a very tight race for the top spot. We just saw Froehlich with aces, and now he's got ace-king. The limits have been raised now to 15 and 30,000. Action on Christian Van Hees. He's got a queen-jack offsuit.
Van Hees started playing poker when he was in the Navy out at sea, and when he left the Navy in '86, he went straight to the card rooms.
That's the old style of getting into poker. 9, Jack, 8. Van Hees getting the lead with a pair of jacks.
He gets top pair on board and bets.
Froehlich makes the call. And now our turn card. It's a 3 of hearts. Froehlich left wanting.
Van Hees' jacks are still best, and he'll go all in for his final 30,000.
And for Froehlich, if he can catch a card on the river, he knows he's got a shot to knock somebody out, but he doesn't really have much of a hand.
Yeah, he's got to pair his ace or his king. He's got to figure to win the hand. Obviously, it's just one more bet, 30,000 to call here if he wishes, and he decides he's going to try and knock Van Hees out.
David Williams showing some concern for his friend in the hand. Cards are flipped over. Froehlich sees he's going to need some help on the river. Right now, Van Hees has to feel pretty good about his chances for surviving the all-in.
Ace!
Froehlich can still send Van Hees home with an ace or a king on the river.
And here comes the river card. A harmless 7 falls. Christian Van Hees doubles his chips through, the chip leader. Van Hees very matter-of-factly collects his chips.
Van Hees hoping to build some momentum and maybe make a run here for his second bracelet.
Froehlich took a small hit to his chip stack there, but he's still our leader at the table. But any shot across the bow of Eric Froehlich is not only felt by him, but by his very close friend, David Williams.
I've known Dave for a long time. He's always been very similar in nature. He's one of the most intelligent people I've ever met.
Eric was kind of new to poker, but he was able to log quite a few hours playing on the internet since he wasn't old enough to play live. Last year, I spent a lot of time playing on the satellites on the computer. Eric sat on the phone with me at a lot of them, kind of played through with them.
We discussed hands, we discussed plays, and just try to make each of us get better.
It was almost like our brains were in sync and we were thinking the exact same thing at every moment.
You know, obviously 2 heads are better than 1, and when they're both in tune with one another, it can be impressive.
Eric helped me with patience. It was almost like I had, a guardian, someone who kind of kept me from doing something stupid.
David Williams has command of this hand.
This was definitely something I wanted to do last year, but I couldn't do, so I kind of played vicariously through Dave.
Williams wins the hand!
There's no doubt that his advice helped me go on throughout the World Series and end up eventually getting second place.
This year I wanted to prove that I could apply the same things that I taught to him in my own game.
Well, David Williams continues to sweat Eric Froehlich. Up until this tournament, Eric says that his career highlight in PokerLon was watching rounders twice in one day.
Froehlich gives up his cards over to Jason Steinhorn.
Race.
That was a good movie, but Steinhorn races it up to 30,000. Todd Witteles folds. Action on Adam Hersch, trying to get a read on Jason Steinhorn with ace-3.
He's in the big blind, so he gets in for half the price, and he'll play and see a flop.
Hersch with the advantage right now with the ace, but not anymore. Trip 9s for Steinhorn.
It's harder to trap in limit games than no-limit games. So in a no-limit game, you'd often check this. He's going to check it anyway and hope his opponent bets or makes something.
But Hersch checks as well with a pair of 3s. And now the turn card, a 10 of diamonds. Steinhorn, you see, earns the check mark. Hersch drawing dead. Steinhorn bets 30,000.
And a quick call from Hersch. The cost of being wrong is much more expensive in no-limit lawn than it is in limit.
4 of clubs on the river. Steinhorn to act once again with the 3-9s.
And even though Hersch, probably obviously was wrong to call that bet, it was just another 30,000. His tournament life wasn't at stake. And now he's asked to call another bet if he wishes. Doesn't have much of a hand, but he might be putting Steinhorn on a bluff.
And he throws in his 30,000 chips. Steinhorn shows him the winning hand. And Hersch has to be a bit disgusted. He started this final table as our chip leader, gave away quite a few right now, and he's got some rebuilding to do.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light.
Welcome back to the World Series of Poker at the Rio. Our 2 youngest players with a chance at World Series history still alive. Eric Froehlich's the chip leader.
Born in February 1984.
And Adam Hersch wants to get back some of those lost chips.
Born in April 1983. Doesn't seem possible.
The elder statesman at this table not doing so well. Christian Van Hees still short stacked on Milwaukee's Best Light pocket cam. Jack-9 offsuit. Time to make a stand. He is all in with his final 25,000 chips. Over to Todd Witteles. Hole cards of ace-6 offsuit.
A raise.
Witteles will raise. Try to create a side pot. Adam Hersch says no thanks.
Go get him.
Steinhorn folds, 2 to the flop, then he's all in.
And behind.
Come on. Ace. Ace, ace.
Lon, this is like when I'm on the road and there's a bad lounge act in the hotel I'm staying at. I got to walk by it every night.
Ace.
Looks like Van Hees feels the same way. Now the flop, 7, king, ace, Witteles with a pair of aces.
Oh, and he puts nails into all of our coffins as Van Hees is all but out of here. He's going to need a lot of jacks, a lot of nines, or some running straight cards, or he's going home.
Van Hees feeling resigned to the fact he may be gone, and indeed he is. With a 6, it's aces up for Witteles, a lock on the hand, and Christian Van Hees will go home in 5th place.
And then there were 4.
And Christian Van Hees will take home almost $87,000 for his efforts today. There's another World Series event going on right now, but as we see in this edition of The Nuts, that's nothing compared to one very special event that's captured the attention of the poker world. From the World Series of Poker comes a new Challenge of Champions.
This is one of the most prestigious contests in the world.
An extreme competition of luck, skill, and a psychological test of wills.
It's the best of the best. All the players that have been studying this game for years are here to show down.
64 players face off using their bare hands.
It's not going to be easy.
It's going to be grueling.
Rochambeau. Rock, paper, scissors.
Rochambeau is a game that's been around for at least 10,000 years.
It's an Aramaic.
We're not sure what language.
I think it's just Japanese for rock, paper, scissors, isn't it?
During the high holiday services, you get bored of the rabbi giving his speech, and you'd play a little rock, paper, scissors on the side.
Find your first round matchup and line up against each other right in this area here, please.
This is the first annual World Series of Rock, Scissors, Paper. This is a satellite into the World Series of Poker, winner take all.
This is the one everybody wants.
Rochambeau's 90% mental.
It's 2 parts mental,
30% physical, 20% spiritual.
1 part throw.
I'm gonna hurt myself. These Rochambeau pros here, they don't really respect the young internet players, but I think we're gonna take the field by storm this year.
Some people play with a platform. Often this is a sign of a beginner.
Rock.
After about 1,000 throws, your palm could be pretty sore.
You really have to be able to get inside your opponent's head and think about what he's gonna think, you're gonna think, he's gonna think, you're gonna throw.
You think you're going paper, they're going scissors, you're really hitting them with rock.
And then go 1 step beyond that.
I think 40% of people in the first throw rock.
Paper. Paper. If you're going to be a Rochambeauist, commit to it.
Line up.
If you're not committed, it's better not to start.
Ready, set, Rochambeau.
Phil Gordon organized that event, and the $200 buy-in will be donated to the Cancer Research and Prevention Foundation, and first prize is a seat in the main event.
All right, back at the real sport of poker, we're left with a 33-year-old online pro, a 33-year-old eBay guy, and these two 20-somethings trying to become the youngest bracelet winners ever in the World Series.
Eric Froehlich by name, Jack 9 of spades, 30,000 chips over to Todd Witteles, who folds.
I don't even like the way he folds, I'll be honest with you.
Adam Hersch, pocket fives. Got a sprint now. He'll make the call. So the two youngest players going to the flop. It is 4-9-4. Froehlich pairs his 9. And he comes out, 15,000 chips.
Hersch, with not a whole lot of chips left, is decided to raise.
Froehlich re-raises to 45.
He has the higher 2 pair.
And Adam Hersch will call. Hersch still in trouble going to the turn and running out of chips. Turn card is a queen, doesn't help Adam.
No, it doesn't. He's running out of chips and cards. And you see, with so few chips right now, he's pretty much decided he's come too far down this road, and chances are, Lonnie ain't coming back.
How much? 15 more.
Froehlich asks how much more you have. Throws enough to put Adam Hersch all in, and he does go all in. Our two young guns squaring off, and this is our degree all-in moment.
I need some help, boys.
He needs more than just help, Lonnie. He needs a phone call from the governor.
His mom looking on. Oh, are they getting ready to go? That's a bad sign.
Well, they're getting a better look at the river. Adam Hersch will need a 5 and a 5 only, or he's going home.
It's a 6, not gonna do it. Adam Hersch was our chip leader when we began this final table, but he goes out here in 4th place, winning over $101,000. Not bad for his first World Series tournament, but now only Eric Froehlich has a chance to make history today at this final table.
I know that, the youngest guy was 22, and it was definitely in the back of my head. And, I was talking to my folks and everything, on breaks. I said, you know what, I want to win it. I want to win the bracelet, but it didn't pan out, but I'll be back for sure.
The all-in moment is brought to you by New Degree for Men. For men who take risks that won't let you down.
Back inside the Rio card room, Eric Froehlich is the commanding chip lead. Steinhorn in second. Todd Witteles started very strong at this final table, but now is the short stack. The betting limits at this $1,500 event, $20,000 and $40,000. And first to act is Eric Froehlich. He folds over to Jason Steinhorn, who has won cash already in the no-limit event. He's got ace-queen offsuit.
And he raises, and a reminder, this is limit hold'em. Right now you can bet or raise at 20,000 chip increments. On the turn and river, you can do it in 40,000 chip increments.
Witteles with ace-9 offsuit. He's in the big blind, and he raises to 60,000.
I told you I don't like the way he folds. I don't even like the way he raises.
Steinhorn with the call. And Steinhorn will have the advantage as we go to the flop and the stare. Ooh.
Yeah, this is a habit Jason has. He likes to stare at his opponent. If he looked at somebody like that in the subway, he'd have a problem. But he can do it at the poker table.
Nobody paired up on the flop, but Steinhorn's got a straight draw. A check and a Witteles bet of 20,000. Steinhorn immediately calls.
Witteles is bluffing at it. Both of them have just ace high. Steinhorn has the better hand right now with the better kicker.
Got the better stare, too. 5 of hearts on the turn. No help to Witteles. He's running out of cards.
A check from Steinhorn, who does have the gut shot straight draw, and Witteles will bluff at it again.
And Steinhorn calls him again. He does not believe anything that Witteles is handing out right now.
A couple of good calls there from Jason. He believes he has the best hand, I think.
Nothing there on the river for Witteles. Steinhorn earns the check mark. He can only lose if he folds. He checks. Witteles checks. And Steinhorn turns over the winning cards, and Todd Witteles is disgusted his bluff did not work.
Jason has crippled the junior GI man, and he's got that look in his face that his mother took away his favorite toy.
Jason Steinhorn, meanwhile, used that penetrating stare to win him some chips right there. That is something he has honed to perfection.
I've been playing seriously since I was 21. I started out playing the low-limit games. I had a set bankroll that I was willing to lose, and I ran that bankroll up a little bit, and here I am 12 years later. I'm actually using the same money. I'd say 70% of the game is knowing the basics. You can learn that from a book. It's the other 30% that's a little bit tougher, and that's the psychological components of the game. When you sit with the same people for hours on end, you start to see recurring patterns. You see how people play, and you just pick up strengths, you pick up weaknesses. I think I read people pretty well. It's an innate skill, and it's helped me a lot. Going to the final table. I'm certainly not as good as the pros, but I aspire to be.
Jason did say that he's got to hop a plane very early in the morning to get back to work. He might be in trouble.
Yeah, they clock in at eBay very early. Frankly, the only part of his game I don't like is that stare. It's very off-putting, but he plays very solid poker.
Eric Froehlich can off-put a lot of people with ace-king of spades. Very strong starting hand. Bets 40,000 to Steinhorn. Kicks it in. Todd Witteles. Ace-9 offsuit.
Boy, we just saw him with a ace-9. That didn't do him any good, and now he's coming in with another ace-9 where he's trailing. Very similar to the last hand we saw him play.
Flicks in a call. Now the flop is queen, 9, king. Froehlich pairs his king. He's got a 10-1 lock. And Witteles pouts and checks. 20,000. All in raise from Witteles.
Almost raising the white flag with that all-in raise.
And Froehlich will call him. Witteles' tournament life on the line. And he sees he's in a huge amount of hurt.
Doesn't Todd usually start calling out for cards now?
Everybody's quiet.
Come on, 9.
There we go.
A 9 would help him.
Todd's got bottom pair.
Miracle. Miracle.
Froehlich's got top pair.
And now the turn card to come.
9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9.
It's a queen, 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 queen. It pairs the board. No help for Todd Witteles.
One card to go. Todd still needs a 9.
9, come on. Rescue me.
And it's a 2. That shuts the door on Todd Witteles. Eric Froehlich wins the hand. Witteles eliminated in 3rd place. He will win almost $116,000.
Enough for a good iron and a dry cleaner.
So Eric Froehlich will go into the heads up with over 1 million chips. Jason Steinhorn looking for a lot of help, and Todd Witteles looking for the exit.
I can't wait to get home and read what everyone's saying about me on the internet, because I'm a very well-known internet player and a very unknown live player. And now everyone knows who I am.
As the action on the outer tables here at the Rio winds down, the final table of our limit event is getting ready to crown a champion. We're heads up between 33-year-old eBay manager Jason Steinhorn and a 21-year-old who could become the youngest ever World Series champion, Eric Froehlich.
I'm ultra competitive. I really want to win. But that said, I take it all in stride, and I'm very lucky to be here.
It's going to take a little luck and a little skill, and I'll just give it my best shot and hope everything works out in the end.
I'm a very tight, aggressive player. I like to think that I have a bag of tricks and I pull out the right one at the right time.
I have a lot of friends who've made a lot of money playing poker, but they don't have a bracelet, so that would definitely be nice. I wouldn't mind being the youngest person to win either.
As heads-up action gets underway, Froehlich with about a 2-1 chip lead on Jason Steinhorn.
History is going to be made, Lon. We're either going to get the youngest World Series bracelet winner in history, or we're going to get the first eBay-employed bracelet winner in history.
If that happens, check eBay tomorrow for World Series of Poker memorabilia, keyword bracelet. Froehlich with a Queen 9 offsuit.
And he has raised to 50,000.
Jason Steinhorn, King of Hearts, 10 of spades. And he makes the call. Steinhorn has got the advantage right now with the King high.
And the signature Steinhorn stare.
To the flop we go, 9-4-4. Froehlich picks up a pair of 9s.
He now has a 3-1 advantage in the hand.
Steinhorn will check over to Eric Froehlich. Froehlich bets 25,000.
Well, Steinhorn posturing at this pot. He has absolutely nothing, and he has raised.
To 50. Froehlich re-raises to 75.
Steinhorn just calls. I got to tell you, for a 21-year-old, Froehlich has a great sense of where he stands in these hands.
The turn card to come, now with Eric Froehlich in command. Steinhorn now with a gut shot straight draw. Again, first to act. Looking for a queen to fill that. He checks.
Froehlich does bet, and Steinhorn immediately calls him. Steinhorn still looking for a queen to make a straight, or if he paired either one of his whole cards, he'd take the hand from Froehlich.
So the river card to come. And it's a useless 2 on the river, earns Froehlich the check mark. Steinhorn still to act, he checks.
Froehlich now might have been worried about that jack as his friend David Williams looks on. Trying to determine whether he's got the best hand, he will bet.
50,000, and Steinhorn calls right away.
I don't understand that call.
Steinhorn sees now that he's lost the hand and lost about half of his chips in the process.
Yeah, Jason must have put Froehlich on a pure bluff right there just to call him. I really don't get that.
One more.
To me, Steinhorn had to either raise to try to win the hand or fold. There was no gain in calling.
You saw the entire bankroll of Jason Steinhorn. Took a big hit on that last hand to Froehlich. Steinhorn with ace-7 offsuit. And he will bet 50,000 chips. Eric Froehlich looking at a suited king-4.
He has almost all the chips in play right now, and he will play right now.
Steinhorn's advantage right now, not quite 2-1. And the flop. 2 deuces and a 9. Couple of spades out there.
Steinhorn has the ace high, but Froehlich's got the flush draw.
Froehlich bets 25,000. Steinhorn follows him in. Now more of a coin flip as we go to the turn. 10 of hearts. Steinhorn back with a better advantage now.
Yeah, no help for either one. Froehlich still on the flush draw, will bet.
50,000 from each player now. That's all Steinhorn has left. That won't get you far in this town.
He's almost down to the felt with just 2 chips. David Williams doesn't know it, but Eric Froehlich's just a king, 4, or spade away from making history.
Now the river, the spade, gives Froehlich a winning flush if he can get Steinhorn to commit his last 2 chips.
Well, Froehlich is going to bet, and Steinhorn with ace high likely is going to put those last 2 chips in, and Froehlich is going to make history.
Froehlich makes the bet, Steinhorn calls. Froehlich shows his card. Steinhorn knows he is done and acknowledges that it is over. And World Series of Poker history has been made tonight. At 21 years, 3 months, 29 days, Eric Froehlich is the youngest bracelet winner ever.
I've been playing poker for 12 years now, and I see these guys that have been playing for 6 months. And the experience you can get playing online, I mean, they're as good as the pros are in a third of the time.
You played as if you expected to win.
Not necessarily expecting to win, but not expecting to lose.
And just one question about your good friend David Williams. If you're playing heads up with David, are you still a slight favorite?
I don't know if I'd say slight as much as gigantic.
It's a big win in many ways as Eric Froehlich sets an almost unbeatable age record. For Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. See you next time from the World Series of Poker.